Welcome to another episode of the True Territory Podcast. I'm your host, True.
I'm Flo.
I'm Ron.
And I'm Oz.
And today we're going to go ahead and give you guys a breakdown of what our favorite sports moment in history was. You guys could go ahead and interact with us in the comments. Let us know what your favorite sports moment was. I'm going to go ahead and kick it off and just get it off the bat. Being a Jets fan, my favorite moment in history is that drive that Mark Sanchez had against the Texans, that crazy two check down plays that led to big yardage with LT. And then we had that huge bomb that went to Braylon Edwards. And then we hit a fade route to Santonio Holmes to go ahead and win it when, you know, we were it was basically crunch time for us. That's I watched that clip maybe once every week to 2 weeks on YouTube just because of how crazy it was. And the reason why it being crazy is not because playoff implications or whatever it was, it's just the atmosphere and the vibe that happened in the arena. It was just crazy. So that's definitely my favorite sports moment. And my second one happened recently. We finally broke that losing streak that we had to Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Didn't mean anything to us. We weren't in the playoffs. But just to end that streak, basically he ended his career. He started off his career with a loss against the Jets. And he ended his career with the loss against the Jets. And as a Jets fan, that's crucial. And that's important. Yeah. So that's why those are my two favorite moments.
Sending Belichick out with an L is a great moment. I won't lie.
Like, it's not even just giving him an L. Yeah. He's not even a coach anymore. They ran him out.
They were doing snow angels.
Yeah, they ran him. They ran him out of New England, and now he doesn't have a coaching job, so he can spend every Sunday watching the Jets win and hopefully go to the playoffs next year.
God willing.
My favorite moment, and one of my favorite moments in sports history is my boy Flo got on the Steelers jersey, but when Antonio Brown got whacked by Vontaze Burfict.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy hit.
Bro, that's what led to the CTE that he's running through right now.
Yeah. That's why he's all messed up.
Yeah. That was a wild hit. Mm-hmm. He took his head off.
He took his helmet off. Yeah.
That was back when players were aiming for heads. That's real football.
But Vontaze Burfict is a dirty player.
Yeah, that was
dirty. Yeah, he was known to do that for,
yeah. True?
I got a couple. So I thought Ron was going to say this, but my favorite Jets moment at least is beating the Patriots in the playoffs in 2010.
I did think that's where you were going at first. I thought that's where you were going.
Yeah. Going into New England and just beating Brady. And if you guys remember, earlier in that season, the Jets and Patriots were 9-2, and they were playing on Monday Night Football in New England. Everybody thought this match was going to be big, and the Jets got blown out 45-3. Yeah. And going into that week, everybody picked the Patriots. Everybody didn't give the Jets a chance. And then obviously, like what Ron said, the Bart Scott interview, that's what made it classic.
But another thing about that game is they were all talking about, and Bart Scott mentioned it too, they were all talking about New England's defense. And what did Bart Scott say? He said they can't even stop a nosebleed.
Yeah.
He said they were what were they, like
25th?
25th in the league, and the Jets were third in the league.
Yeah.
And the Jets defense was getting talked down on when, that's why you can't base it off just one game. They got blown out, but look at the end result. We knocked them out of the playoffs. So
yeah,
that was a good moment. I hate the Patriots, bro.
Another moment of mine was the Dame Lillard shot against the Thunder, where he hit it from damn near half court, and the shot was beautiful. But the thing that makes it so special is him waving bye to the Thunder bench.
Yeah.
And sending him out the playoffs.
That was cool.
And my last moment it's not really a moment. It was more of a signing. It didn't lead to nothing. But when the Nets got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, that's probably the happiest day the happiest day of my fandom towards a team. They didn't lead to anything, but yeah, those three.
That's fair.
Before you say that, because I do want to add one more in there just because I didn't know we were doing basketball too. I do want to say there was one specific game. I don't know if you guys remember this. This was a while ago when Vince Carter on the Nets, I think they were playing the Raptors, and I watched this a lot too. We were down 3, and then he ended up hitting a 3 with like a second left. They went into overtime, and then they were down by 3 again. He hit another 3, and then there was like a couple of more seconds in overtime. And he's the one who scored the final basket. Does anyone remember how he scored the final basket? How did he do it? It was an inbound alley-oop, and he just did it. He did a reverse dunk, wide open, and
Yeah.
we won the game, which is dope.
Yeah, no, Vince Carter was the man.
VC3.
He was the man.
Dirty.
My favorite sports moment of all history, of all time, is this is one I actually watched. I have one that I watched, one that I didn't have the privilege of watching, and then one that I actually saw live, like at the game. So the one that I had the privilege of watching was the Jersey, Ben Roethlisberger, Santonio Holmes game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl. That drive was so crazy to me because they started on a 1st and 20 on a holding call. Had like 2 minutes, 24 seconds on the clock, no timeouts. And they go down the field. Let me just tell you how the drive went. Big Ben almost gets sacked at the 1, avoids the pressure, gets a pass off on the run to Santonio Holmes. First down. Then third and 6, another first down to Santonio Holmes. Then first down pass to Washington. 2nd and 6 from the 46-yard line, a pass to Santonio Holmes, and he brings it all the way to the 5-yard line. This was the Santonio Holmes drive. And then I think it's like 2nd down. They come out in shotgun formation. Big Ben calls hikes. He calls hike. He scans the red zone and points to Sant in the corner. Just throws it up on a prayer, basically, but puts the perfect pass right over 3 red jerseys. And Santonio Holmes caught it right. I still have the Sports Illustrated cover where you see he's just best toe touch I've ever seen.
Yep.
That toe tap is Santonio Holmes, man. And he caught that pass over 3 defenders and won them the game. And to me, it was just the clutchest, probably the best pass and catch I've ever seen in the Super Bowl. So that moment tops it all for me, especially the height of the Super Bowl. Like it was like the last second of the championship.
I thought Larry was gonna get that ring that year.
And Larry was going crazy that game. That was my favorite Super Bowl by far, and that's why, other than the Jets, you guys can see I'm a little bit of a Steelers fan as well.
But why? Before you even continue, why do the Steelers always have such good luck with receivers, bro?
Bro, it's not just receivers. They just historically, man, they've had great running backs.
I think Mike Tomlin. What did they finish this year? Do you remember? Was it like 8-8?
Yes.
Or
No.
9-8?
Well, they're 17. It's like 9-8 or
9-8.
something. He's never had
a
season.
losing record.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
And think about it. I don't know the exact numbers, but I think he's only their 3rd head coach in like decades.
Yeah.
10-7.
10-7. Yeah, bro.
He's a dog.
It's great.
Man. He's a dog.
And they used to call Antonio Brown Tony Toe Tap.
Tony
Bro,
Toe Tap.
Santonio Holmes had
Santonio
way more
Holmes was
toe
Tony
taps
Toe
catches,
Tap,
bro.
exactly. But yeah, that's my
Which,
favorite.
by the way, I find it dope that my favorite sports moment and his involves Santonio Holmes on the toe tap TD.
I thought that's where you were going too. That's what's crazy. No, sorry, I thought that's where Oz was going when he pointed at my jersey. But yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
My other sports moment that I didn't get to watch, but after learning about it, has become one of my all-time favorites. And I texted you guys about it. I think at least you, Ron, the other day. Do you guys know who Hussein Abdullah is?
No.
He was a safety in the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was a safety in the NFL. He played with the Vikings from 2008 to 2011. He was Muslim. He was going through some stuff personally, whatever, family stuff. He decided, all right, let me take a year off football, and he went and did Hajj, which is the Muslim pilgrimage for those that don't know. Right. Then he comes back, goes back to the league. He gets on the Chiefs. Doesn't start the first year, but he starts the second year, and he's balling. He's doing well. And one game, I believe it's a regular season game, not sure what week exactly, but they're playing the Patriots, Tom Brady and them. And they're slapping the Patriots. It's like 34-7. And apparently, the way he tells it on the podcast is called Iman Cave, for those of you that don't know Abdullah Abduro. But it's a great podcast. But basically, he was praying to God and asked God to allow him to score a touchdown in an NFL game. And if he does, he'll do sajda, or basically prostrate, pray on the ground. Kind of like what Tim Tebow did when he need. And basically, he gets a interception off Brady, Tom Brady, runs it all the way back. And the way he tells the story is when he caught the ball, he figured, he didn't hear nothing. He just figured, all right, God did his part, now I got to do mine. So he runs it back, scores the touchdown, slides in, does sajda or prostration on the floor. Yeah. He actually gets a flag, but apparently there is a rule saying you can't celebrate on both knees. So we'll give the ref the benefit of the doubt there. And it brought more attention to it, so that's cool anyway. But basically, he went down, and the crowd goes crazy until this day. Apparently, it's the highest cheer recorded the loudest cheer recorded in any open air stadium.
What?
And it's still a Guinness
crazy.
World Record till this day. And it's a Muslim guy bowing down to God after he
Nice.
scored a touchdown.
That's crazy.
Why?
But
Why can't they be on 2 knees in a touchdown?
I'm not sure. to
yeah,
be
I
honest.
don't know how true that is because who's the Niners player that
I was just
recently
gonna
did
say that.
Marquise Goodwin?
Yeah, that was.
He went on both of his knees and he like prayed like looking up because I think just before that game his son died.
That's what he was saying on the podcast, talking about the
I don't
moment.
know.
He was basically trying to say like he's not mad at the refs.
Yeah.
He's like, for all I know, there was some type of rule, whatever. But even if there wasn't, and they called it for that reason, it just made all the shows talk about it the next day and
Yeah.
bring more awareness to it anyway. So,
It's worth the penalty.
huh?
It's worth the penalty.
It's worth the
anyways.
penalty. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't take away the score.
And plus, they were up 34-7.
Yeah, who
you know?
cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But those are my two favorite moments. And one last honorable mention I'll throw in just because it was really cool. Me and True were at a Jets game. What was this, like 2015? 2015. It was Jets versus Redskins. And it was a great game.
Commanders.
Great.
Can't
Reds-
say Redskins no more.
well, they were the Redskins at the time. But we were playing Washington. And it was a great all-around team win. But my favorite moment was me and True got to see my favorite player of all time, Darrell Revis, get a diving interception, and I thought that was pretty sick, man. But that's
One
pretty much
one
it.
sports moment. Well, I just throw this in there. One sports moment that was cool, but I also hate at the same time. It's my least favorite. That's what throw this in there. Me and Flo actually saw Tom Brady beat the Jets in his last game against the Jets ever, and a game-winning drive.
Yeah, bro. And what's crazy about that game? First of all, speaking of Antonio Brown, it was the very game that he
Took
took
off the
off his shirt
jersey.
and
Oh,
ran
you guys
off.
were at that game?
We were
Yeah.
at that game. And
CTE.
yeah, man, he's a nutcase, but
Yeah.
he's also a dog. But he took it off. He ran or whatever. We weren't even sure what happened. I remember I was like looking on
He
Twitter.
just did it out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Jets are leading the whole game, and then Tom Brady does what he does. He comes back
Painful.
and game-winning touchdown in the end. And I almost fought some Brady fans after the game. I was so upset about it, but it is what
Yeah.
it is. And you know, it was at least there was a silver lining of like, oh shit, like we just saw Tom Brady's last game-winning touchdown drive. Like that's at least a cool silver lining.
Yeah.
Then he comes out of retirement after that year and just does more.
Yeah.
So he couldn't even let us have that.
Yeah.
It's just Brady, man.
Yeah, but one thing, just a quick thing on that game. It not only did we see him just beat us, but I think that was the week Antonio Brown was like, "Oh, I don't want to play. I'm hurt." He didn't need to play that game realistically, but he was like, Brady told AB, he was like, "Yo, bro, we're playing the Jets. I'm gonna feed you," and like that was like, "All right, come on, bro." Like, I hate him even more for that, but yeah,
That hurts.
But before we move on, bro, how good is Antonio Holmes? Like just like thinking, like
Dog,
I already knew he was good, but just like now talking about these memories, like these old school plays, and just thinking about it, bro, he's so clutch.
Man, you know the first
So
time
clutch.
I ever turned on an NFL game that wasn't a Jets game, it was the Steelers. And this is what I'm telling you about that Steelers team when it comes to the offense or the defense that we were talking about the other day. The very first play I ever seen was Santonio Holmes catch a punt return and take it all the way to the house. It's just, that guy was electric, man. He was the king of balancing, getting his feet in bounds. He was him.
Yeah,
I noticed you said something about the Antonio Holmes catch. You think that's better than the David Tyree catch in the Super Bowl?
yeah, 100%.
I do.
100%.
Yeah.
Because David Tyree catch put them in a position to win, and it was like wild as hell. But Santonio Holmes catch actually won them.
The thing is,
And sorry, Ben Roethlisberger. I remember him talking to Mike Tomlin about this on his podcast, and he was saying something that's very true. He had no business throwing that ball. Realistically, they needed a field goal, and they could have tied the game. So taking that type of risk, throwing it in basically what was
Trusting your
triple
receiver.
coverage. Crazy, but not even just that. The way he tells it, and this is why he's one of my favorite quarterbacks. He's like, I wasn't even thinking field goal at the time. I was just
Yeah.
thinking score.
yeah.
Bro, that Steelers team in that couple of years stretch was something
But
special.
I'll tell you why it was better than the David Tyree catch. The David Tyree catch was straight luck. Yeah, it was on multiple people, but he had to like buy.
Was it multiple people?
Yeah, it was.
I thought it was just like one person. And he just like kind
Yeah,
of.
that was just one.
He wasn't surrounded by like
I think
another
it was
two
like
people.
2 people.
Yeah,
I
I
remember.
don't know. I have to double check that.
Yeah, we'll see.
But regardless, he caught that and he had to hold it by the grace of God against his helmet that it doesn't get knocked out because that would have easily been an incompletion. It was on multiple people,
So
right?
it was on one person, but another was closing from what
Yeah,
it
yeah,
looks like in the
yeah.
picture.
So it's like he was holding it by the grace of God to make sure he doesn't drop the ball. Santonio Holmes, he held it with confidence on three people. And the other thing is, people were talking about that's where the Giants fans came out of the woodworks. Yeah, I'm a Giants fan. We are Super Bowl champs. David Tyree tried to go buy Tyree jerseys, whatever. Mans was cut the very next season. Like he was a nobody. He was just one of those players that he's a nobody.
So
he
what
just
you're saying
happened
is
to get a
David-
moment, and that's it. He's
that
not
was
like
one-
a solidified player.
What David Tyree did wasn't a culmination of things he's done his whole career. Santonio Holmes,
That was the
what he
only
did in
thing
this-
he's done in his career.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a cool moment. It's gonna go down as the helmet catch or whatever,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you can't compare that to
Yeah,
Santonio
no,
Holmes TD.
I also
Cannot do
I would
that.
put Sant over that too.
Yeah, 100%.
But man, Larry Fitzgerald was so good in that game. I just want to say.
Yeah,
He
what
was-
was his stats in that game?
Oh, I don't know. He was cooking.
Wasn't he like 7 receptions, 130 yards or something?
He
What
was
it?
cooking.
It was bro. He was having a monster. But the thing is, what did he say? He has
7 for 127 with
7
2
for
touchdowns.
127, almost. Yeah, I said 7 for 130. What was that crazy stat that he has? He has more what?
Oh, he has more tackles than
He
drops.
has more tackles than
as
drops.
a wide receiver.
Bro,
That's
he's
wild as hell.
He's one of the goats. He's top 5, if not top.
yeah. That's what
five.
I'm saying. It's crazy that he doesn't
Honestly,
have a ring.
the-
He needs a ring.
Besides Jerry Rice, obviously Randy Moss, and even Terrell Owens, I think Fitzpatrick. Larry Fitzgerald is the GOAT.
Yeah.
He's 4,
Yeah.
other than
Yeah,
after
100%.
them.
Yeah, he's like the ideal receiver you want. He's not the
Perfect.
drama type. He's not.
No.
He's not a cancer in the locker room. He's all for the teammates, and he doesn't cry for the ball. He just happens to get the ball because his hands are like glue. But
I agree. Yeah. He's
speaking
just
of wide receivers, time to move into the next topic.
yes, sir.
Go ahead, True. Let us know which receivers we're ranking.
So there was a tweet we saw, and there was basically our Instagram post, and ranking Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, and Jamar Chase. So
All right.
who wants
I
to
think
kick it
I
off?
think we're all in agreement. I would hope we're all in agreement. Who the number 1 spot is? Jay Jettas.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Okay,
Yeah.
I figured that. Now he comes number 2. And by the way, it's crazy that Jay Jettas is number 1 I don't want to say it's crazy. It's just dope that he's number 1 because where would you rank Dak Prescott? Would you say that Dak Prescott, and this is like kind of a sublet to the question, but Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes, even Tua, and Joe Burrow, would you say they're all way better than Kirk Cousins? I would hope we're all in
Yeah.
agreement on that.
Yeah.
And the fact that Jay Jettis could still,
Be the top
Ball
receiver
out.
with
imagine he had Dak Prescott. Imagine he had Patrick Mahomes or Tua. Imagine he had Joe Burrow. Bro, can you imagine what he would do? Like, he's doing this with Kirk Cousins. You know what I mean? No shade to Kirk Cousins, but he's not on their tier.
Yeah, he's
you know
good.
what I
He's
mean?
just not the others.
Yeah, he's just not the others. So that's crazy that he's number 1. But my number 2 would probably be CeeDee Lamb. And they're all great receivers. And I don't want to get any hate, but it would be CeeDee Lamb, number 2. Probably, I really don't want to give it to Reek for number 3. Reek is number 4 on my list, and I'll tell you why. Jay Jettas, CeeDee Lamb, and Jamar Chase can do so many different things that makes them elusive and just crazy, right? And I know it's important for a wide receiver to have speed, but it's also about how accurate you are in the cuts and the route running that you do. You take away Tyreek's speed, he's not the best route runner. He doesn't even have the best hands. It's just he's so far ahead from the defender, it just falls, and he just has it because he has time to breathe. Speed goes away with old age. You know what I mean? So who's to say in the next 2 years his speed doesn't decline? And I don't want to say he's average, but he's like, you know what I mean? It's like
No, I
it's
agree.
like you start to see a decrease in production because he can't get past the receiver. He doesn't have the insane. Like, yeah, sure, his cuts seem like they're good, but that's only because he's so fast. He takes a quick cut. You know what I mean? So that's why I put the youngins over him, just because they could do a lot more, and they're not only relying on speed. Nothing, not tearing down Reek. He had almost 2,000 yards this season, if not hit 2,000. He's still a monster. He's
No,
top
I don't
tier.
think he ended up hitting it.
No, 17.99.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, almost. He's still top tier to me. It's just for those reasons that besides speed, there's not really anything else that's flashy about his game. He's just known as the fastest receiver. But speed, like I said, with age goes down. And he's going to still be in the league when he gets a little bit older. He's going to still be in the league, and you're going to see the speed decline, and he's going to have these youngins who are hitting their prime because they're only like 2, 3, 4 years in the league. Give them a couple more years, and they're going to they're going to shine even more. This is the new generation. So that's how I do it. They're all, I would say they're top 4, top 5 all receivers in the league, but that's just how I would personally rank them.
I would agree. I think I agree with your list. I go obviously Jetta's one because he's like Randy Moss Jr., bro. As crazy as that is to say, that truly is the type of skill that he has. So I'll go Jetta's one. 2 and 3 is a toss up for me. And I think 4, I don't know if it'll shock you guys because it sounds like Ron agrees, but 4 is Tyreek to me. Because I do agree. I think speed is something that can diminish with age. And if it's your main, the main part
threat
of your game, your main threat, then that's a little bit concerning. Because here's my thing. Size-wise, route running-wise, and hands-wise, I don't think Tyreek is up there with these other 3 guys. But he is that fast where that gets him up there. So once that goes, to Ron's point, I would agree the others have more kind of going for them.
Mm-hmm.
So with that said, I don't know. I feel like I want to put Jamar in 2 and CD in 3, but CD's a dog, man. What he did this year was honestly very impressive, and I'm trying to think of it from a DB's perspective, like who I would want to guard less. And I think I low-key rather see Jamar than... I mean, I don't want to see any of them. But I think if I'm a DB, I'd rather cover Jamar than I'd rather cover CeeDee Lamb.
And I do want to let you know, imagine CeeDee Lamb playing with... Like, Dak Prescott is not... To me, I love Dak Prescott.
He's not Burrow.
He's probably my top 3 favorite quarterbacks personally. And I root for him. But he's not Burrow. So imagine CeeDee Lamb or Joe Burrow. So the fact that CeeDee Lamb's doing it with Dak Prescott... It just sucks. CeeDee Lamb needs to get out of there. He's never winning a ring there.
And 2 things I want to say. CeeDee Lamb has 1,700, almost 1,800 yards and 12 touchdowns to Tyreek Hill's 1,799 and 13. So he basically put up Reek numbers anyway without that speed. So that's why I put because I know there's gonna be a lot of people that would put Tyreek over CeeDee Lamb, and I think when you look at the whole package and everything, some honorable mentions that we didn't talk about are Amon-Ra, AJ Brown, and I had someone else in mind.
I mean, when you get into the honorable mentions, you could go into it, but like I thought this was interesting because it specifically mentioned these 4 and said
they're the Mount Rushmore of today's wide receivers, basically.
Nah,
this
GW's up there. Garrett Wilson.
He will be once we got a healthy Rodgers. But yeah, I go basically that's what I go. Jetta's, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar,
same thing as me.
Tyreek, yeah.
So what about you, True?
You wanna go last? Sorry.
I'll go.
All right.
It was kind of the same as Flo's. Jetta's. I had Chase, and then CD, and then Reek.
Fair.
Damn, bro.
It is a
Tyreek
tough. You can't really get mad at the CD and Jamar. They're both savages.
Agreed.
So
I think this is a case of recency bias from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Tyreek last. Come on, bro.
I had
That's
Tyreek
insane.
in
That's
fantasy.
That's honestly disrespectful.
He
bro.
carried me, but come on.
That's
true.
disrespectful, bro.
how?
That's disrespectful.
Explain.
My rankings. Let me get my
say
rankings
your
first.
rankings.
All right, Justin Jefferson, I agree with you guys are there. Tyreek is number 2 for sure. Jamar Chase number 3 and CD's number 4.
That's crazy.
It's
criminal.
not.
That's
Jamar Chase. First of all, the reason why we're all in consensus that Justin Jefferson is the best one. Tyreek, you can't deny his stats. Every year he goes off, and CD he's great. But this is the year where he went off.
He put up the same stats as Tyreek.
This year, though. Tyreek's been doing this for years. And Jamar Chase, the reason why he's above CD, because he's been in the big moments. He's played in the big moments. He's been to the Super
Tyreek
Bowl.
also had Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
We also had Tua. Dak Prescott has had great stats every single season. But
I mean, To each is their own. But
I mean, yeah, it's
I
fair.
told you,
It's
Nah,
fair.
that's
it's not
disrespectful,
stat
bro.
wise.
That's
No,
disrespectful.
and then even look at this. Plays of over 20 yards, 29 to 29. 40 yards. Ooh. Yeah, Tyreek got it.
That's
with the 40
disrespectful,
yards.
bro.
It's 9 to 3.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not. This has nothing to do with stats. I'm not saying that Tyreek isn't. He's not a top tier or whatever because of his. I'm just saying when it comes down to it, in the next year or two, when his speed starts to decline with age, that's his only threat.
Yeah,
That's
but
all I'm saying.
you're
These
talking
guys
about-
aren't,
True,
these
true,
guys
true.
aren't
I mean,
relying.
I
on
got a question
these-
for you.
But really quickly, the other three guys aren't relying on speed.
Yeah, but you're talking about future.
They're
We're talking,
fast.
we're talking about right now.
But even right now, as a core wide receiver, like realistically, this isn't really biased or anything. Just realistically, if I had the option, let's take Judges out. If I had the option between any of them three, I would probably pick CeeDee Lamb. If the Jets called me, said we'll go after whoever you want, who would you say? I would say go after CeeDee Lamb. Why? Because if you take away speed, if you find somehow to lock up the speed, what's your next go-to? Try to go shorter, take better cuts and route running. Tyreek doesn't have any of that. He just has speed. You take away that threat, he's not a threat anymore.
Here's my question.
Didn't Sauce shut him down?
No.
Yeah, he did.
Tyreek never cooked the Jets.
Yeah,
he did this year.
No, he didn't.
Cooked them.
In that
No,
one,
he didn't.
all right, in one game out of
In one game where
They
we
play-
were,
he only
where-
played one. He only played them once this year,
What you mean? Nah, there was a game where he had less than 50 yards against us, I think.
bro. He had 9 catches for 100 yards against Sauce or DJ Reed against the Jets. Period.
Well, whatever. Either
No,
way,
but
the
there
point I'm
was-
trying to
there was
say,
another one,
the point
too.
that I'm trying to say is, what's the number one thing when they show his highlights? What do they say? They start putting the speedometer on him, saying he ran 26 miles an hour. It's the speed. You take away the speed, he's not a threat.
But
I'm
does
not
that-
saying he's not a great receiver. I'm just saying he's not a threat. I'd still be CeeDee Lamb. You take away the speed, he'll still take those 5-yard end rounds and cut you bad, where he'll create that separation and he's
Hey,
gone.
all right, look,
That's all I'm saying. Speed is his main threat. The other guys, you take away their speed, they still have height, they still have weight, they're still bigger, they still have better cuts, they have better hands.
yo, bro.
That's
So,
me personally.
Tyreek Hill played the Jets on the Dolphins alone, not including what he did with the Chiefs. On the Dolphins alone, as a Dolphin, he versed the Jets 3 times. The first of those 3 times, he had 7 for 47. Second was 2 for 23, and then he had 9 for 102.
Their quarterback was a practice squad quarterback both games. That doesn't. I mean, fine. I mean, credit to Sauce, credit to them, of course, but I mean, it was
Okay, what
third
about-
string quarterbacks.
All right, what about
What does that have to do with anything?
Shit.
He's saying that he had a bad game. It was flow throwing.
No, they were.
Yeah,
if,
no.
if you
It was
look at
flow
those,
throwing.
hold on.
Us
If you,
QBing that game.
was this last year?
Yeah, bro.
yeah.
Skylar
Go ahead,
Thompson.
continue.
I know that guy.
Go ahead, continue.
Tyreek Hill. Let me just throw this out real quick. Tyreek Hill this season against 9 teams. He had against the Chargers, Patriots, Jets, Giants, Panthers, Raiders, Titans, Commanders, Broncos. 8 of those games he had over 100 yards. His stats in those games alone. This is just 9 games of the season. 75 catches, 1,334 yards, and 11 touchdowns against 9 teams. Just 9 games.
But you're cherry picking.
That's not cherry picking. This
you're
guy
taking the
is
best
elite.
half of the season.
Huh?
You're taking the best half.
He has more yard.
half of
Hold
the
on.
best games of the season. I'm saying.
Hold on. CeeDee Lamb this year. Okay. CeeDee Lamb this year, total 17 games. He's played all 17 games too. He had 1749. Tyreek Hill has literally 300 less in 9 games. 9 games.
300 less what?
Tyreek Hill in 9
Oh.
games had posted 1334. That's 300 less than CeeDee Lamb's total average.
You're saying Tyreek.
That's
only-
disrespectful, bro. Nah, I'm joking. That's
Listen.
disrespectful, bro. Number
I'm not
4.
even mad at it. I'm not even mad at it because the gap between all 4 of these receivers isn't large. But the point I think me and Ron are trying to make is that if you're looking at the overall skills that a receiver
Skills and
needs,
build.
Okay, but that's like
Size-
saying, hold on, I see what you're saying because of speed. That's like saying, I don't know. That's like saying, trying to think of a.
That's like saying take Lamar's rushing ability. He's an average quarterback. He's not MVP.
No, that's like saying, Drew Holiday in the NBA is better than if you take away Steph Curry's 3-point shot, he's nothing. Like, bro,
No,
you can't
because-
say
no,
that.
No, because
you can't say that.
You can't lose a shot
Yeah,
with
you don't
old
do-
age.
exactly.
You could lose
Yeah.
speed.
But Tyreek Hill's been doing this since. How many?
He's been doing it since. I'm not saying that he
how
has.
many
I'm saying going forward. If he plays for another 5,
But this
6
question
years,
is not about
I'm saying-
going forward.
I'm just saying it's like that skill that he has. I'm talking about his right now. You're talking about current day right now. But what I'm saying is his build, his skill, what has him the way he is, what has him in the top 4, top 5 conversation. That aspect that he has is his speed. And once someone figures out how to shut that down, which, for example,
No
Sauce
one
and
has.
DJ Reed did.
No one has.
Hold on,
Yes,
true.
he
I got a
has.
question.
What
No
are you
one shut
talking
him down.
Wait, I got a question.
He literally read the stats, bro.
Yo, besides, wait, hold on. So besides the plays where he catches it up top, where Tua can actually manage to get the ball over the defender, and Tyreek just catches it and runs to the house. Can you think of like plays that he's had where you're like, oh shit, he lost and he just took it off that guy's head?
Never.
Oh shit, a one hand.
How is that on him?
What do you mean?
Is it his fault? Is it his fault? His defenders can't catch up. I don't get it. if me and Oz are running, if I'm guarding Oz, Oz is faster than me. If he just burns me every time, how is that all Oz? So he can't moss people. He's
No,
burning me.
I get it, but it's not like he's must.
how you gonna fault
the defender?
But how you gonna fault
100%.
Tyreek for that?
Okay, but
That's
what I'm
not
trying to say
faulting
is,
him.
He just said you can't. Oh, can he moss? I'm like, bro, he just
no,
beat.
bro. But the thing is, he doesn't burn every single defender on every single 100% of the snaps, bro. There are times where the defender
Okay. So
stays
question.
with him and he doesn't moss.
Question. Does yards after catch count?
Of course.
Yes.
He's he's arguably the best at that.
Yes.
So how you don't consider that? He
We're
can
not-
turn a 2-yard catch, just like you said. The CDA ran was 5-yard in the routes, whatever. Tyreek can turn a 2-yard
What-
catch into a touchdown, bro.
Exactly. That's the
how
point
does
that's the point that I'm trying to that's the point that I'm trying to make. He could do a drag route that's only 3-4 yards out, and he could turn it into a touchdown because of his speed. That speed is his only threat. Once you take that away, he's an average receiver.
why are you
not
knocking
an
it?
average receiver. I'm not knocking it. I'm just putting it. These are the
No,
top.
look.
These are the top 4 best receivers in the league. I'm just putting him 4th out
Speed?
of the 150 receivers that are in the league. He's just number 4.
Okay, all right.
Here's
Question.
what we're trying to say. Here's what I'm trying to say at least, right? These are the things that goes into these are the things that go into being a receiver, right? Route running, hands, speed, physicality, right?
There's a checklist for receivers.
Exactly.
Correct.
And Tyreek
You can't
Hill,
check off everything for Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill is the best in only one of those categories. That's it.
That's it.
And
Which
so
is what?
Ron is saying,
Speed.
Okay, now-
and hold on, which is fair because, like I said, it is one of the things that makes a receiver great. So we're not knocking or trying to diminish his greatness, his production, or anything like that. All Ryan is trying to say is right now Tyreek Hill is 29 years old. Do you think when he's 32, he's going to be able to run at the same speed that he is?
But this
now?
question isn't about future, bro. It's about right now. I understand what you're saying about the future.
I know it's not about future, it's about right now, but what I'm saying is that skill could easily be taken away. So that's why if you're ranking them, I'm always going to put him 4.
Shit,
4 out
I
of
might-
150 something. That's what
All
I'm
right.
doing.
I might backtrack because if you are just talking about this last year, then yeah, putting Tyreek. Hill
Even
is
if you
kinda-
put them this last year, why would you put him over Ceedee Lamb when they had identical stats? If you're talking about this past year.
I'm talking about Jamar. I'm not sold on CeeDee Lamb yet, but
he's saying he's only talking about this year. So why are you giving the number 2
Because
spot?
Tyreek has been great every year.
You're
CeeDee
only
Lamb
talking
just
about
popped
this
off.
year. You're only talking about this year. That's literally what you said. We're not talking about the past. We're not talking about the future. We're
What do you
talking about right
mean?
now. You were
But
only talking
Tyreek's been doing this. So this is the norm for him. CD has a great season. He's ahead of Tyreek. But one question I want to ask both of you guys, because you guys said, or one question I want to ask, because you just mentioned it, Tyreek speed, but there's also a checklist. What does any of the 3 receivers, do they do anything? My question, Tyreek's speed is insane. Does any of the other receivers' traits even overcome that Tyreek speed?
You want to know something
Let me-
funny?
No.
By the way,
let
by
me
the way, you
answer
wanna know
your
something
question with
funny?
a question. Let me
Here's the
answer-
here's the funny thing. Just in this past season, the wide receiver with the highest touchdown percentage is CeeDee Lamb. Guess who's number 2?
Oh,
Reek. I just want to point that out there. The highest touchdown percentage.
okay, but you're using this year.
Well, you said now. You said rank them now.
See, that's recency bias, but this is the norm for Tyreek. That's what I'm saying. So him putting him last because CD finally went off, that's disrespectful, bro.
Okay, but the thing is, all right. Let me
I
ask you
gave you
this.
my reason.
Let me ask you this though. Going back to those 4 things: route running, hands, speed, and physicality. Off of those 4 players, right? Where would you rank Tyreek on hands?
He still has great hands.
Okay, he has. They
Not
all,
better than the others.
They're all great in all of these categories.
Okay,
What you don't realize is
Fourth.
these are all the top 4 out of like the 150, 160 receivers in the league.
Yeah.
So it's not a shame that he's number 4. It's just when you compare these guys,
So
he doesn't
wait,
have better
wait,
hands
so
than
that-
CD
true.
or Jamar.
But do any of their traits, CD, Lamar, Jettas,
Yeah.
Jamar, do any of those, do
Yeah.
any of their traits, hands, physical, whatever it is, does any of that overcome Tyreek's speed?
Jettas does the route.
Nothing like, okay, that's good, but Tyreek's speed is greater than that. That's what I'm saying.
All right, but
None-
wait, you didn't answer though. So if you're going by hands, where would you rank Tyreek in those 4?
They all have great hands. I don't know.
All right, but would you say that he's?
I
better
know
than-
Justin Jefferson is the best one.
Okay, so he's not number 1 in hands.
No.
So what about I said route running or catching? No, that was hands. So route running, where would you rank him? Would it be 1?
No.
Okay. Physicality, would you rank him at 1?
He's small, but no,
So-
of course not.
So it's just that's what we're trying to say is like he's producing as much as CeeDee Lamb right now, and CeeDee Lamb probably ranks higher than him in those 4 categories. So if I'm just going off of skill, eye test, all of that, but I understand why you're saying it's disrespectful, and I feel like a traitor because I had him on my fantasy and he carried my whole team, bro. But yeah, man, I think it's a matter of the other receivers are a little bit more complete from what I've seen.
And don't get me wrong, of course, all these guys are great. So there's really no wrong answer.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I don't have Tyreek as my number 1 either way. So
Yeah, but it's a hard debate. You're honestly right.
yeah.
It's not as easy as me and Ron tried to make it seem, putting him last.
It was easy for me.
See, that's what I'm talking about, bro.
Okay, you said CD Lamb just went off this year, right? My bad. I was just pulling up. the stats.
He's good. Don't get me wrong, but
Okay, how many yards did Tyreek have this year?
1,800
1,800. How many did CD have? 1,750.
in less games, by the way.
I'm sorry.
Tyreek, CD played every game. Tyreek didn't.
Tyreek missed 1 game.
Still, but and did you not read the stat? Did you not hear the
Hold
stats?
on,
bro?
hold on. How many yards did Tyreek have in 2022?
I'm not sure. Over here. 17.
CD had 15. And how many yards did he have in 2021 in Kansas City?
12.
He had 1150. And then in his rookie year, he was 50 yards short of 1,000.
You don't think
meaning in the first 4 years, he was 3, almost 4 consecutive years of 1,000 yards. That's with multiple weapons on his team and with Dak Prescott. And when he was in Miami, that's with Tyreek just getting the ball all the time.
Okay, but
do you get what I'm saying?
You guys are looking at it from like a stat perspective. I'm looking at it
that's
from
what you were doing.
No, that's fine. But I'm also looking at it from an ability perspective.
That's exactly how I
think-
started off the conversation.
Yeah.
Tyreek,
that's
but
what-
you're not understanding. Tyreek's speed overcomes any of their traits. That's what I'm
That's
saying.
not
In
true.
your opinion.
That's
in
not
your opinion,
true.
but I
Yeah,
don't
in your opinion, that's
necessarily
true.
Bro, there's a bunch of speed
You
receivers.
want to know why?
okay.
No
You
one's
wanna know
doing the
why?
same thing as Tyreek Hill.
It's a cheap dump off pass when you have him wide right, and then he does a little drag route, comes right across. You just dump a 2-3 yard pass and let his speed kick off. That requires no hands. That requires no elusiveness to your cuts and your route running.
So that's
and that
luck?
that's just it's not luck. It's just speed. But CeeDee Lamb could do a post route and get it off 2 people because of his hands. Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson could sit there and just take a crazy cut in their slant route or their in and out route or whatever it is to lose their defender and be able to get good yard. Do you get what I mean? Like there's more important traits than speed, and you can't lose those traits. You can lose speed.
Let me ask you.
That's all I'm saying.
If let's say it's like me and Ron's game of Madden the other day. Ball on the 25, 4 seconds left to score a touchdown. You just got to kind of throw a 50-50 ball up in the end zone and hope with a prayer that your receiver comes down with it. And you can throw that 50-50 ball to any one of these 4 receivers. Who are you honestly, genuinely choosing?
Justin, I'm not saying Tyreek Hill's the best receiver.
My bad. I'll do the 3 because we all agreed Jettas is number 1. So we'll take him out.
Where's the
of
ball?
3. We're at the 25-yard line. You have 1 play to score.
25-yard line. That's not a lot of space to run. You can't really explode.
Alright,
You need
you
open
can-
field to explode. I'm giving it to
You
CeeDee
can- it's
Lamb.
still enough space to
I'm
get
giving it to
separation.
CeeDee Lamb. I'm not knocking Tyreek
You
Hill.
clearly are.
No,
you said
I'm
take
not.
away his speed. There's
Yeah,
a lot
take
of
away
speed
speed.
receivers, so how come nobody's doing the same thing as Tyreek Hill? If it's just
Like
about
who?
speed,
Like who?
there's a lot, bro. There's a bunch of speedy guys,
No one's as fast as a Lamborghini on the field.
but there's a bunch of speedy guys, bro. His speed. My conclusion: Tyreek's speed overcomes any of their traits.
All right, whatever.
Josh Jefferson's the best receiver though, but
I don't know. I don't know.
I'd go Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase is solid.
All right,
But-
so wait, answer that. Of the
Why,
three.
why is Jamar Chase solid over CD?
I just said Jamar Chase actually performed well in the playoffs. Super Bowl. Even though they lost championship games, like, he's been there. CD hasn't, so I can't give it to CD.
How's that his fault?
That's not his fault.
So,
But if one person-
why is that a reason to knock it?
If one person shined further against the Chiefs or against the Rams,
Let me ask you a question. If you put this is not branching off, but if you put Ceedee Lamb on the Bengals, do you think he'd perform better than Jamar Chase?
I think they'd be the same.
No, I don't think so. I think CD is. That's why I put nothing against Jamar either. But that's why Jamar's number 3. I think
And
CD has that edge
might I
over Jamar.
add, Tyreek Hill, because Judge is not in this conversation, but Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, and CeeDee Lamb. Who's the number one the clear cut number one option on their teams? CeeDee Lamb with nobody else. Jamar Chase has T. Higgins, Joe Mixon.
T. Higgins was kind of
Tyreek Hill has Jalen Waddle.
Okay.
They're literally
Waddle,
sharing
So if anything, they're sharing snaps.
sharing
with
targets.
very good
CD is clear
receivers.
cut number
What are
one.
you talking about? Cowboys, before you even get
Brandon
into their
Cooks.
wide receivers, they have Tony Pollard, who's a great
I'm
running
talking about
back.
receivers, dude.
No, but even if
But
even
that's
if
another
the
option.
case-
That's in the passing game and in the rushing game.
Tyreek
alone.
Hill, but
even
even
if that's the case, how's that his fault that he doesn't have great?
no, because he's
receivers?
boosting CD Lamb. I expect him to get all the targets. Meanwhile, these other guys have to share targets.
Yeah,
and
okay,
they're still doing.
sharing targets, but there's still no question.
There's a star receiver,
Yeah,
even if there's a loaded staff. Like you're Joe Burrow. You have T. Higgins, you have Tyler Boyd, you have Joe Mixon, and you have Jamar Chase. Who do you know on the back of your mind subconsciously is your number one option? Always, it's going to be Jamar Chase.
Yeah, it's not.
But
Automatically.
he's still posting these numbers with T. Higgins.
Well, that's because he's the number one option. Always, they're always going to look to get the ball to him.
That's
Doesn't matter
what
if
I'm
there's
saying.
It doesn't matter if there's other weapons. They're not utilizing the other weapons.
They're
T.
posting
Higgins'
the same
stats is
stats.
probably nowhere near Jamar Chase's because Jamar Chase automatically gets. It's like saying Brandon Cooks is a solid receiver and he got good yardage, he got good receptions, but the ball went more to CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, they have good weapons. It's gonna go to the star.
So why isn't CD's more than them?
Yo, look,
More
look,
than
look,
who?
look. No,
Any of them?
Yo,
he has high?
True.
He's been over 1,000 yards every year of his career so far. What are you talking about?
He not more than Tyreek.
true. Look, this is the 22 season.
The
So-
yak yardage is what gets Tyreek up there.
T
That's why.
T Higgins and Brandon Cooks. If you're comparing them, T Higgins literally wins in every single category.
No, I'm not comparing them, dude. I'm just saying that it's not enough opportunities to go to Jamar Chase rather than to CeeDee Lamb. But yeah, Jamar Chase and Tyreek, who share the same field as Waddle.
Let me
They-
ask you
But
There's
this.
look,
not
but
enough
this is what I'm trying to
opportunities.
say. Look.
Defense is
Brandon
locking on
Cooks
CD.
only got
Huh?
over a 17 game season. Brandon Cooks only had 17 less targets than T Higgins. So one target less per game. So basically that's one target per game that CeeDee Lamb doesn't have to share that Jamar does. So it's not a big.
It's not a big difference. But what I'm talking about, for the sake of your argument, saying that CeeDee Lamb, he's how come he's not doing it? If he's the only threat on the team, like you're saying, defenses are stacking up against him. That's why he has to work extra hard. So all those other skills have to kick into place. It's not just Dak Prescott is not going to give CeeDee Lamb a 2-yard dump pass and he's going to run 36 miles an hour and run it into the end zone.
Kind of disrespecting Tyreek.
It's not disrespecting him. Bro, he's one of the best receivers. I'm just talking about overall skill wise. I think the other receivers have more skill than him. That's it, because they don't have to only rely on their speed.
All right.
That's all I'm saying. But whatever.
All right, let's kick it into the next topic. We decided to go with the Would You Rather segment, CJ Stroud edition. So I have a list of quarterbacks, and you just guys tell me if you'd rather CJ Stroud or this quarterback. So first name on the list, Jared Goff.
CJ, more upside.
CJ.
CJ.
Yeah, I'd probably do CJ.
All right.
Goff's been there. And he's done that, but
Goff got game, yeah. Like I
Yeah.
really like Goff,
but he hasn't shown
it's the
anything to
upside.
put it over the edge.
It's the upside, yeah.
He was always just good enough to get there.
Yeah.
Mind you, this is like if you'd rather. So if you like, who would you rather have as a quarterback?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
think of
Yeah,
it like
yeah.
that as well. Okay. Next quarterback on the list, Tua.
Oh,
CJ.
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 All right, easy. All right, next quarterback, Dak Prescott.
CJ.
Dak.
CJ.
I'm not a Dak fan.
Dak.
I'll be honest with you.
Dak.
Hell no. Hell no.
I'm on paper, I'm not mad at them for choosing Dak. I'm just not personally.
People knock Dak because he can't get past the first round of
So
the
do you
playoffs.
think?
That's coaching. That's
Do you
not
think that
him.
we've seen
That's
Dak's
coaching.
ceiling?
No, we haven't.
I think we have.
We
bro.
won't. We won't until
think
after.
so either.
I'll tell you what. We
We were
won't
just talking
until
about
we
what a
won't
good
until
team-
after next year.
Bro, look, they had such a great defense. They
We
had
won't until after
offense-
next year.
They've been saying this for
No,
years.
no, no.
I'm out on Dak.
Notice. I'm not. I'm not saying.
Out on
No,
Dak.
no. Hold on.
Out
hold
on Dak.
I'm not. Notice how I'm not saying next
Thanks.
season we'll see his ceiling. I'm saying until after next season, until Mike McCarthy and that whole regime is gone,
Yeah.
and a new coach comes in and takes. Watch, you're gonna see them explode. That coaching staff, for some reason, can't get past the first round of the playoffs. It's stupid play calling. It's stupid guidance, and that's what's restricting them. And I think after Mike, they already said they're not going to extend Mike McCarthy. So after he's out and they hire new ones, that's when I think we'll see.
Is this
what he could
biased
really
because
do.
you just said Dak is your top 3 personal favorite quarterbacks?
So
Is this bias?
You
no,
said
it's
that.
me. No,
yeah, he
it's me.
just said that.
Why?
He
I
really
always
said that
like
20 minutes
I
ago.
always like that, but who cares if it's biased? Like
Because
I'd rather
you do
have
realize
him-
Well,
you do realize he played
CJ's
horrible those games, right?
But
Which
see,
games?
but
In the playoff
true,
games.
True, true.
You're blaming it
CJ's
on-
your favorite, one of your favorites.
Yeah,
too,
CJ Stroud is your favorite.
These 3 quarterbacks I'm definitely taking over. There's some quarterbacks I would take over CJ, but you said it's the regime. It's not, Dak
It
played
is.
horrible in the playoffs.
What this past Packers
Every
game?
single playoff game.
No.
That's why they call him choke artist.
Horrible play. It's horrible play calling. I'm telling you. But
right, next one.
circle back in 2 years.
All right, next one.
Wait, one thing I will say though, I think Dak is gonna somehow end up on the Raiders.
No, not the Raiders.
I don't know why. I just have this feeling, bro.
All right, next person on the list, Justin Herbert.
I'll take Justin Herbert.
I'm taking CJ.
Just stupid.
Come
Stupid. Cooking.
I'm taking CJ, dude. First of all, Justin Herbert win a playoff game, buddy. All right. CJ Stroud already win his rookie year. And talent wise, like I like Herbert, I really, really do. But he doesn't. I don't feel like he doesn't do anything to freaking.
Then you hop from the Herbert bandwagon to
I like
not
Herbert.
bandwagon, but
He's talented as hell, but I just feel like he's like so vanilla, bro. Like he doesn't do anything.
I will
special.
say he's
He
never
doesn't
really
need to
had
do
a good
anything special.
defense.
He just does what he has to do to win.
and it translated to nothing.
What?
It translates to nothing.
I mean,
He's like, nah, any
It's hard to
special
defend
weapon.
when you
Yeah,
have
nah.
to play.
it's hard to defend, but whatever. That's my answer. I'll take Justin Herbert.
Yeah,
I
I
bet.
think I still go Herb.
Next one is Jalen Hurts.
I'll go Hurts.
CJ.
I go Jalen Hurts.
I would go Jalen Hurts on this one.
CJ.
I like.
I think
Besides that-
I think we seen Jalen Hurts' ceiling already, and he's good. It's just, bro, his own teammates are giving up on him. His own teammates are bugging out on him. The Jalen
What
Hurts and
makes
the
you say
Eagles.
that? What reports or whatever came up?
You see the frustration all on the field. AJ Brown wants to bounce from the Eagles.
Yeah, but AJ Brown was mad from like the first couple of weeks.
He's always mad, bro.
Yeah, yeah. And here's my thing about Jalen Hurts. Excuse me. That Super Bowl against the Chiefs.
That's
he
what
had
puts
that-
me. That's what puts me over it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He had that one sloppy play where he fumbled the ball, and that did hurt the team. It didn't lose it for them, but it hurt them. Other than that, though, he balled out, bro. He really sold
that
me.
Super Bowl was crazy.
Yeah,
he
no,
sold
that's-
me in that Super Bowl.
That
Like,
performance, bro. Like
it was a very, very solid performance, man. And I've been a Jalen Hurts fan since that, to be honest.
Nah, bro. AJ. I mean, Jalen Hurts is trash, bro. I'm gonna tell you why.
He's
I'm
a
gonna-
football
I'm gonna
guy,
tell-
bro.
I'm gonna tell you why.
And
I'm
he's
gonna tell you why.
handsome.
The thing is the thing is with Jalen Hurts, he can't get the he's not getting the same recognition that Josh Allen gets when it comes to the turnovers. He's monstrous and he's disastrous with the turnovers. And like when they were all hyping up the Eagles, saying, "Oh, they were like 5-0, and you know they came in and played the Jets, and what happened? They played a real defense." And costly mistakes. I think he had 3 picks and 1 fumble that game or something, and we ended up winning the game. That's because when you put him against a real defense, he's not going to win. He doesn't know how to play well against real defenses. All their wins, they're frauds. I said that since the beginning of the season. They're frauds just like Miami. Their wins came against below 500 teams.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you're comparing him to Josh Allen, stats. No,
No,
stats.
not stats. Only turn like.
No, you're
he's
right.
so
You're
costly.
right. No,
Yeah.
you're right. Actually, Josh Allen threw more touchdowns and less picks than him this year. So you're right about that part. But I don't know. Like, I don't. It's hard to put their whole offensive struggle just on Jalen Hurts.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to say. I feel like I seen his ceiling. I don't think we seen him reach the Super Bowl. We seen what he could do in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that wasn't a bad performance. Like, that was a great performance. He couldn't get it done. So I think that was his ceiling. Like, I don't think he has enough to put him over the edge to win the big game. Okay. But CJ Stroud in his first year proved everyone wrong and did incredible things, and it's only up from here. I honestly see him doing
But
a lot
here's
more.
what I'll say though.
And that's by the way. That's CJ doing all this with no names.
Okay.
Tank Dell, Nico Collins. Those guys aren't A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith.
All right, question for you. Do you think CJ Stroud in the next 3 years will reach a Super Bowl?
No.
So how are you putting him over Jalen Hurts
He will get to a Super Bowl.
in the next 3 years?
Bro, you got to realize he's not unless
they threw the same amount of touchdowns this year, and CJ Stroud does have 10 less picks. But
Damn.
Hold on.
hold on. But my thing is, what I saw in that Super Bowl is exactly what you need to see from a quarterback in a Super Bowl. And I don't watch the Eagles closely enough to know exactly what went wrong this season. I'll be honest with you on that. But Jalen Hurts is like that. I'm not saying he's even top 4 or top 5 right now, but Jalen Hurts is like that. And I think he's proven that he can be a good regular season quarterback and get them to the playoffs. And then he's proven that he can get to the Super Bowl and play well. He lost to Mahomes.
All right. It's not even about who he lost to. You're saying how come I'm putting CJ over Jalen Hurts if I don't think CJ is going to reach a Super Bowl in 3 years? Unless you're giving CJ players like Devonta Smith, DeAndre Swift, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, and that offensive line, unless you're giving CJ Stroud that, you can't say, oh, you're not going to see him in the Super Bowl in 3 years, so how are you putting him over? He got to the playoffs in his first year and had a way better stat line with nowhere near the resources. He had a rookie head coach.
Yeah.
He didn't have a great offensive line like Philly. His best receiver was Nico Collins. Before the season, half of the world didn't even know who Nico Collins was.
Yeah.
More than half.
I'm just saying if
So now imagine you had good coaching staff around. I'm not saying the Texans don't have good coaching staff, but they aren't rookies. So imagine you had a non-rookie head coach and a solid coaching staff. Imagine you had a solid offensive line, and imagine C.J. Stroud had A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. You're telling me he can't reach a Super Bowl?
who CJ Stroud?
Yeah.
I'm not
If he
saying-
had all those, without a big-time star or 2 big-time stars, you're not going to.
You keep doing hypotheticals, dude. Like you can't say that if he had this and he had that.
It's a good point. It's a good point. But
I get that. But you're sitting here saying, why are you gonna put C.J. Stroud over Jalen Hurts if you don't see him in a Super Bowl in the next 3 years? Unless you're asking me about 3 years from now. That's a hypothetical. How am I supposed to know? What if he goes into Super Bowl next year?
No, it's a good point that C.J. Stroud doesn't have the.
He doesn't have the
Jalen
same
Hurts
resources that Jalen Hurts had.
In his rookie year, he did basically outperform Jalen
Exactly.
Hurts this year.
Fine.
But what we're saying is, if you just look at what he did to get to and in the Super Bowl.
Forget about that. You want to see what I'm talking about? Pull up. Whose stats are you looking at right now?
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. I'll pull up C.J. Stroud's rookie stats. Okay.
I looked it up already. It's 23-5 for C.J. Stroud, 23-15 for Jalen Hurts.
And what about yards?
Let me see.
Like 37.
Yards for C.J. Stroud.
And what was his rookie year's record?
4109 for C.J. Stroud.
And how much for Jalen?
38-58.
Yeah.
So same touchdowns, less picks, more yards. That's all towards C.J.
Yeah.
And what was Jalen Hurts' record that first year?
It was a bad team.
Huh?
It was a
You're
bad
talking
team.
about Jalen Hurts' rookie year?
Yeah.
No, that was Jalen Hurts this year.
No. I'm saying what was his So you said you looked up his stats this year?
That
No,
was
I'm
both of them
talking-
this year.
I'm talking about his Jalen
Well,
Hurts
but that
rookie year.
even helps your argument more though, because it's not even Jalen Hurts' rookie year. It's this year.
Since we want to avoid hypotheticals, so let's compare them from the first year in. His first year in, he only started 4 games. He was 1-3. You know what? I don't even want to sit there and talk about his rookie year because of how bad it was. So I'll start his sophomore year. He was
Just take
eight,
this
he,
year.
he,
It
he
helps
was
your case
he
even
was
more.
8. I'm just saying, just to compare it for that case, 8-7, 3,100 yards, 16 touchdowns, 9 picks. He didn't do what CJ Stroud did, and that's without a good supporting staff. Get him big name players this offseason. Get him at least one big star wide receiver. I promise you they go into the next round.
You know how hard it is to get to the Super Bowl and have a performance like that. That's
I
why
think
I'm
that's
picking
what-
Jalen
yeah,
Hurts
that's what's
over CJ Stroud.
I think that's what you're missing. Is
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
we're that-
If you envision CJ Stroud going to the Super Bowl in the next 2-3 years and putting performance like that,
hold on.
all right.
No.
Because you
So
can't
you're
say
not
you
getting-
can't say these.
I'm not knocking his performance in the Super Bowl, but what I'm saying is what we've seen in the Super Bowl, you're never going to see.
But
Jalen
are we going to
Hurts-
see that CJ Stroud? That's what I'm
But
saying.
you're never going to see that in Jalen Hurts. I think sometime in his career you will see that in CJ Stroud,
Right.
one way or another. But it's hard to say that you're going to see that when you just said it right now. The past years that Jalen Hurts had on the Eagles, his team sucked, right? The second they gave him weapons, he got to the Super Bowl. You do that same scenario with CJ Stroud, get him weapons, he's going to go to the. He has
Okay,
a high
so-
chance of going to the Super Bowl.
So you'd rather CJ Stroud right now than that's what I'm asking.
100%, correct.
All right.
100%.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad
100%.
at it. But it's just the Super Bowl that's putting it over the top for me and True. That's all it is.
I get it, but but again, how many years was he in the league with Jalen Hurts before he went to the Super Bowl? He was in the league two years.
Yeah.
2 years, and his third year he went to the Super Bowl. That third year is the year that he had AJ Brown, right?
Yeah.
The second they got him big name players, he performed well. We saw his ceiling, but he performed well, and he couldn't come out with the win. What I'm saying is, you get CJ Stroud weapons, he'll perform well, and he could more than happily get into the Super Bowl easily.
All right, bet that's his preference.
All right. Who's
Next
the
person,
one?
3 more. Brock Purdy.
Ooh. What you think, Ron?
CJ Stroud.
I'm going to CJ.
I'm
Yeah.
going Brock Purdy.
I think Brock Purdy. I'm not knocking him. He's a good receiver. My bad. You give your answer, and then I'll go ahead.
Probably CJ.
I'll gladly give the kudos to Brock Purdy. He did his thing. He held his own in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. But it's so easy to look accurate, look good, look calm and suave in an offense when you have all those weapons. You put him on a team like you put. I think you put Brock Purdy on a team like the Texans who had nobodies. I don't think he'd perform like that. You put him on a team like the Panthers. I don't think he'd perform like that.
That's fair, but again, what True said, it's kind of getting into hypotheticals. What I'll say about Brock Purdy is, look, you can't
wait, hold
punish
on.
a guy.
Really quickly. That's not I want to say that's not a hypothetical only because his team is stacked with weapons. You
No,
take
I know,
away
but
some of
you're
those
still
weapons.
saying if you take them away, which
Yeah,
is
I guess.
Still, but here's my thing, like Brock Purdy, if you have a guy, right, and the guy is supposedly a good quarterback, and you put him on a team that has Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, all of these guys, and a nasty defense. George Kittle, yeah. So all of these weapons around him, and your expectation is, okay, this should be a good team. They should go to the playoffs. They should go to the Super Bowl, or at least get close to it. Assuming this quarterback is good or decent. So what we've seen of him, he hasn't held them back at all. Brock Purdy. He went to the NFC Championship twice, got hurt in the first one. Then he went to the Super Bowl. He played well, held his own against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And this year, I think he had 31 touchdowns and like 10 or 11 picks, and over 4,000 yards. So what I'm trying to say is, like, everything that he should do with those type of weapons around him, he's done. So you can't use those weapons to knock him because he's done what he had to do.
The different with this
Now,
scenario.
hold on, really quickly, I just want to say something. Minus Christian McCaffrey because he wasn't on there yet. That same exact team with the defense, with the wide receivers and whatever, offensive line, coaching, they made Jimmy G look good. And we saw what happens when he was gone. Now, imagine, I guess you could say it's hard to talk about hypotheticals, but during the offseason, that's what football is. It's all hypotheticals because you're not going to see this. But imagine CJ Stroud on the Niners. You're telling me he wouldn't
Well, we
outshine
talk
Brock?
about sports all the time. Do you remember me ever saying anything good about Jimmy G?
No.
You remember me no offense, but shitting on him all the
Yeah.
time? Notice I'm not doing that with Brock Purdy because there's a difference.
Do you guys?
I don't think there is. No, there is a difference between them. But what I'm saying is, Brock Purdy would be average to mid on any other team. He wouldn't be the stellar quarterback. I don't think he has what it takes to take an average team. Like basically, I don't think he has what it takes to maybe go to the playoffs and win a playoff game with the Texans' current team, like CJ Stroud.
Let me tell you.
But really quickly, if you put CJ Stroud on the Niners with that same exact team that Brock Purdy had, bro, he probably would have won the Super Bowl.
Flo, let me, because you guys are forgetting one big thing with this scenario. So you read off CJ Stroud's stats. It was unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
They both play in the same system. So if you put like Ron said, you put CJ Stroud on the 49ers, because the Texans offensive coordinator, the coaches came from Shanahan, the 49ers.
Yeah.
So they're both pretty much in the same system. And we see what CJ Stroud did with less talent around him in the same system.
Okay, but here's my thing. And going back to, like, you brought up Jimmy G, right? In 2021, Jimmy G was with San Francisco, and that's when he, I think, played the last full season with them. He had 3,800 yards, so less yards, 20 touchdowns, 11 less touchdowns, and 12 interceptions, so one more pick than Brock Purdy does in his second year.
But you also got to remember Brock Purdy has an additional weapon, Christian McCaffrey. That's a big help.
Okay, but I can only go off
production.
You brought up Jimmy G. I can only go off that. But but even with that though, that's an extra 11 touchdowns, one less pick, and 300 more yards. So of course CMC helps and is a big advantage. But that goes back to what I was saying before. Anytime you give someone that, and they do, like Brock Purdy has done what he needed to do. Yeah, he came in privileged with all of these weapons around him, but he's capitalized on it the way that you're supposed to. I don't feel like it's something we can knock him for.
No, I'm not saying that you can knock him, but what I'm saying is, for the sake of being hypothetical, just try to use your imagination a little bit and try to experiment.
Yeah.
But just put a fake plasma screen TV in your head and imagine CJ Stroud's wearing that Niners uniform. You're telling me he doesn't ball out in a way more exciting fashion and outgoing way than Brock Purdy? CJ Stroud balled out with the Texans, bro. They had nobody.
It's his preference.
They had nobody.
Possible, but you never know.
It's his preference.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think this is going to be the case, but what if it's just one of those one and done?
That's another thing. That's why we can't talk about it, because we don't know what's going to happen next season. Maybe he has a sophomore slump and it's really bad. We had the discussion, I think, in episode 1. So we did have that. So we have to wait and see what CJ Stroud does. But if he capitalizes and he keeps this going, bro, all the Texans have to do is just add one big name receiver. AJ Brown is disgruntled and wants to leave Philly. Go ahead, throw him the bag, bring him over to Houston, and watch CJ Stroud go to work. And then that's gonna prove my point. But until then, CJ Stroud's just gonna continue balling out with Nico Collins. Nico who? Exactly. That's what I'm talking about, bro.
All right, 2 more. Trevor Lawrence.
I'll take CJ.
CJ.
Ron's gonna go Trevor Lawrence, bro. Oh my god, don't do it.
Nah, I'll go CJ. Okay. I'm only saying CJ because it's just I just don't think it's fair that Trevor Lawrence. I hate Trevor Lawrence. I can't stand him, but I just hate how he was kind of thrown into the league like, oh, this guy's gonna be the best quarterback to ever come out. He never lost or whatever. So now anything he does when you set someone's bar that high, anything he does is gonna look like a disappointment. So it just sucks.
I'm going with Trevor.
You slip it in.
I'm going Trevor. Coming out of college, Trevor is obviously the way better prospect. Trevor has shown it in the league as well. They both have the same amount of wins in playoffs. So I think Trevor's just better talented. Bro, like, I wish I just got Trevor Lawrence, bro. All right, last one, Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Joey B.
Bro,
Joey.
You thought you were gonna throw us off with that? Like, you thought we were gonna say CJ? Joe Burrow. Hold on.
Yo, look at his face.
Hold on. I want your honest answer.
This one?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough.
Hold on.
Just because I give it to Trevor Lawrence, I'll give it to Joe Burrow.
You're saying just because of Trevor Lawrence, you're giving it to Joe Burrow, but now I could use that Super Bowl thing. Joe Burrow performed and did well in the Super Bowl, and he just barely lost.
He didn't perform like that.
Are you bananas?
Banana.
Yellow ripe bananas.
He didn't perform like that.
You're crazy. What are you He almost literally won a ring if it wasn't for one defensive play. If it wasn't for one defensive stop, he was gonna launch the ball to Jamar for an open touchdown.
I just want to see his stats because I don't think he went off like that. He had 22, 33, 263, one touchdown.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts had a better game. than
Way better game, bro.
What do you mean? It was.
Way better game. Jalen Hurts was
He was
unreal.
going up against the Rams and Aaron Donald. What are you talking about? The Chiefs' defense isn't even savage like that compared to the Rams that year.
That's
doesn't
a good
matter.
point, though.
He put up
Super
260
Bowl performance, bro.
He put up
yeah.
263 on the Rams, bro.
Okay, but think about who Burrow
Aaron
got
Donald
with him.
won MVP that
He
year.
had
Bro, think
all
about-
stars around him.
Think about who Burrow, besides his offensive
Hold
line,
on.
he has
Hold on.
weapons, bro.
Hold on,
He-
hold on,
he-
hold
on. Come on,
touchdowns.
bro.
What do weapons mean when you're going against one of the savage, like a savage defense, and the best defensive player of that year on the line, and you have the statistically the worst offensive line that God ever made, God ever created, the worst one. He's running for his life, worse than Zach Wilson ever ran for his life. He's running for his life every single play, and he's still managing to throw 263 yards against.
What are you arguing? I said Joe Burrow.
No, but you're giving it to him just because you said Trevor Lawrence.
Coming out of
Not because-
college.
Not because
They're the better quarterback talent.
you're giving it to you tried to make the argument of Jalen Hurts and the Super Bowl performance, but you're not making the same argument for
Jalen Hurts had an unreal Super Bowl. Yeah, unreal, bro.
Yo, let
bro.
me ask you something, True. I'm surprised one quarterback isn't on that
Can
list.
you really quickly? Can you imagine running and seeing Aaron Donald chasing you and you trying to complete a pass?
I'd probably shit myself.
Yeah, exactly. Joe Burrow did hit 263 yards on that. Exactly.
Hold on, bro.
Who are you getting off of you from the Chiefs?
They have unreal
Chris
cornerbacks. Chris Jones. What are you talking about, dude?
Chris Jones
The Rams scored 23 points.
again, and
The
Jalen
Chiefs
Hurts
scored
has,
38.
Bro, look what you're comparing. You're comparing the Chiefs' average defense against a great offensive line, Philly. Then you're comparing Aaron Donald and the Savage Rams against us playing offensive line for Joe Burrow.
Okay, listen. Jalen
Do
Hurts.
you not see the comparison?
Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl, 27 for 38, 304 with one touchdown. Passing. Jalen Hurts rushing, 15 carries for 70 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Ooh.
That's so you're telling me Joe Burrow 200 whatever yards is better than those?
Okay, my bad. I didn't know we were comparing a quarterback to a running back. Okay.
Bro, come on.
Come on, bro.
Like, I'm not saying that he's a running
Those
back, but
numbers
don't
are
bring
crazy.
up, like, what, the 3
Yeah,
rushing
why
touchdowns?
not?
He had an
70
unreal
yards running.
performance.
Come on, bro.
He had an unreal performance.
Okay, so
Wait,
we're not
wait,
going
wait,
to
I
talk
got a
about
question, I
we're
got a
not going to
question, I
talk
got a
about the 20 yards Joe Burrow runs back because Aaron Donald is
Okay,
chasing
okay.
him.
We
Come
put
on.
Burrow over him. He picked CJ, but I got a
Come
question.
on, bro.
There's someone on that list that I'm very surprised you didn't put on that list.
Ooh, Zach?
Nah.
Oh.
Josh Allen. I'm surprised.
Oh,
Does
no,
that mean-
I think he's clearly better than him.
That's what I was gonna say. That means you think Josh Allen is clearly better than CJ Stroud.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yes.
At 29 touchdowns, 18 picks, is clearly better than a rookie that threw 23 and 5.
Bro, you're
Josh
I think
Allen he's just
I think you guys looking at it as from stats wise.
Wait,
I'm
not
looking at it as a
only stats,
quarterback
but-
talent wise.
yeah. I agree with you.
So-
I understand.
No, I
That's
know.
why
but-
that's why I was curious about you just giving it to Joe Burrow because you gave it to Trevor Lawrence.
Because-
It's so stupid.
So who's a
But-
better talented quarterback, Joe Burrow or Joe Burrow or CJ Stroud?
Joe Burrow.
I'm agreeing with you. What do you not?
Your exact words were, "I'm gonna give it to Joe Burrow because I picked Trevor Lawrence." That's not giving it clearly because of talent. That's,
It
that's,
is.
That's you
Coming out of
feeling
co-
bad. You didn't. You picked Trevor
No,
Lawrence, so you
no,
have
Nah,
to.
it's
go
him,
Joe Burrow.
it's him realizing he messed up.
No,
with-
bro,
with-
no.
with
Coming out of
Trevor
college,
Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence was like can't miss. He has the arm talent, the size, everything. So does Joe Burrow. So
You know who else was like that? Johnny Manziel.
But if I said CJ
he
Stroud,
clearly left off all the clear cut answers off the list.
Yeah, like
which
Lamar.
Is why I expected that.
well, no, I think CJ Stroud is better than Lamar, but
No, I know that's why he left it off the list. I was just surprised because number-wise,
That's awesome.
Josh Allen isn't so clear-cut as you would think.
Number wise, yeah, but you know what? He's not as clear cut number wise for one reason. His talent gets overshadowed. His talent gets overshadowed by turnovers. But you know what? What proves to me that he's the guy.
What?
Realistically, what's a coach's number one instinct to do when their quarterback has a bunch of turnovers? Pull him out. Maybe see another option at quarterback. They got so much trust in Josh Allen that even with the turnovers, they still let him rock. It's because he still gets the job done. You know what I mean? He's still able to get the job. He took a poverty franchise of the Bills after their 3 Super Bowl appearances and 3 losses straight or whatever in the 90s. They were basically a poverty team for the most part, and he took them and he made them. He basically took over what Brady was doing with the Patriots. He handed the baton to Josh Allen basically, and Josh Allen's the number 1 team in the AFC East.
Question: Who you taking? Just real. This is not even part of the thing. Who you taking? Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts?
Josh Allen, 100%. Again, despite Stephon Diggs is a savage player. He's no AJ Brown. You give those weapons. You have to perform that. You have to perform that. The same thing how I said about Brock Purdy. You have to expect Brock Purdy to perform that way because he has stars around him. You have to expect Jalen Hurts to play as well as he does, despite the turnovers, because he has weapons around him. Despite Stephon Diggs, because I don't think Stephon Diggs is on AJ Brown's level. I think AJ Brown is above Diggs.
Wait, so does that mean you don't think Stephon Diggs is top 5?
To me, Stephon Diggs is not top 5. That's basically saying
because he wasn't on the Mount Rushmore conversation.
So the four that we had earlier, you're basically asking me is the 5th one Stephon Diggs? No, he's not.
You would put AJ Brown over him.
I don't think I'd even put AJ Brown over him.
I thought you just said AJ Brown was better than Stephon.
No. I'm saying what I meant was I don't even think I'd put AJ Brown at that 5th spot.
Who do you think you would put? Just curious. Who would you all close out that top 5 with?
I don't think Ceedee is not even top 5.
Really?
No.
So then why would you?
But because there was a photo. It was that ranking system.
Oh yeah.
So real quick, top 5, and I don't want to make this long, but Jettas, Tyreek, Chase, Diggs, and I have to go Devontae.
Devontae?
Yeah, you gotta respect him, bro.
That's not bad.
Top 5?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I would put Devontae over Amon-Ra St. Brown. I would put him over A.J. Brown. Puka.
Yeah.
You know who gets a lot of disrespect? I do feel bad. Cooper Kupp. Nobody ever put him in top 5, and this guy was a triple crown, bro.
He kind of fell off.
Well, yeah, no, now because of injuries and stuff. But I'm talking about even, like, if you listen to top 5 receiver lists, the year he won his triple crown, bro, he wasn't even on every list.
I'd probably I don't know why I sounded confused. I'd probably do that too. I'd probably give it to Devontae because he had over 1,500 yards, I think, and he basically played with this glass window, a.k.a. Jimmy G, and he played with Aiden O'Connell, who's a no-arm having rookie quarterback out of Notre Dame, I think, or wherever.
Literally the worst game of my life in Madden was playing with that team, with O'Connell on the Raiders.
Real quick, have you guys ever seen a Jalen Hurts interview?
Oh, yeah.
This guy talks like he's in a movie, bro. It's like, all right, we rolling now?
No, they'd be like, the question would be like, oh, so Jalen, why do you think you guys lose? What was the biggest reason you guys lost today? Well, in life, you have to go through down. Like, bro, just answer the damn question.
Guy gets mad motivation.
Guy's giving a speech.
Yeah, he's giving a speech, like a life motivation speech.
Yeah, but like I said, Josh Allen 100% is over Jalen for me, and you give Josh Allen better star players. Like, I think we're going to see a downgrade in Josh Allen this upcoming year because apparently Gabe Davis is out. So, like, he's going to be traded.
Diggs might be out, right?
Yeah, so it's like now we're going to get to see. But then we're also going to see a downgrade in Jalen Hurts if A.J. Brown actually leaves too. So you're going to see what I'm talking about.
I don't know. I don't think A.J. Brown leaving has as big of an impact as Stephon Diggs leaving, to be honest.
Who do you think is the better rushing quarterback, Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts?
Josh Allen.
No.
Rushing?
I'd say Josh.
I think I go with Jalen because I think
you just want to be different. No. You just want to be different.
Because I think Josh runs are not designed, whereas Jalen's
exactly.
is.
That's what makes it better.
Well, he's saying skill.
Like skill wise, like Josh Allen's literally playing backyard football, running like that.
And
like the coach is not saying, "Hey, Josh, run the ball," whereas Jalen, they actually call a running play for Jalen Hurts.
That's because the Bills actually have a quarterback. Don't run unless you absolutely have to.
What does that mean?
I hate when people knock running quarterbacks.
I don't knock it.
It's the way the game evolves. Let it ride. You don't knock Michael Vick.
I don't knock it. Michael Vick is the man.
He had 15 carries for 70 yards for 3 touchdowns. How do you not?
Who?
Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl.
What was the?
Here's my thing.
Designed.
What was the score though?
38-35.
Exactly. Who lost? Who lost?
What does that mean, bro?
Who lost?
The Eagles.
Irrelevant then.
What does that mean?
Stats 10 years from now, are they going to list Jalen Hurts stats or are they going to list the winner and loser of the 10-year reunion?
Josh Allen never went to the Super Bowl.
Well,
you're a Jets fan and you're talking for Josh Allen. Come on, bro.
Josh Allen is the one thing about the Bills that I've liked in my entire lifetime, honestly.
That's good.
Josh Allen is a likable quarterback.
He really is. He is, honestly. But I think that's pretty much all we
Yeah.
had for today, right?
It was a great one.
Good episode.
Good episode.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow the socials. It'll be on the screen.
Yeah.
Any closing comments, Ron? True.
Jets.
All right,
Catch you guys next week.